get a little notification that we're being live streamed. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Okay, 1 second. And for everyone watching the replay, hello. Second. There we go. We're live. Awesome. Just make sure I haven't had any messages from anyone. Okay, great. Awesome. Lovely to see you all. I have a feeling we're going to be a pretty small group today. Pretty much everyone who's here desires to be here, wants to be here. And for people that are feeling really like solid, they're probably not here. So I want to keep this session today kind of under about 45 minutes. So this is just a pretty simple check-in, energetic check-in, strategic check-in, just before we go to edits on Thursday. Okay, so of course, if you're watching the replay, you can pop any questions or comments into the chat. Please make sure you tag me so that I get the notification. And I think the most important thing to say here is like this, for me, typically, is where I will start to see big resistance start to rear its head. So when it comes to resistance, I usually think of it like this, like usually some people go 50% of the way and then their big resistance appears. Some people go 80% of the way and then their big resistance appears. I'm that person who'll go 80% of the way and then at the final finish line, I'm like, oh! And often that might look like shit happening externally to me in my environment. Like a health crisis, a relationship breakdown. Like I know the signs usually, and I'm like, okay, this is my resistance. So I just wanted to flag that if you guys are feeling any of that, totally normal. And of course, you might be the kind of person who sort of slides on in at the final minute, at the final, right at the very end. And that's okay too. But I just want to preface that, of course, our date for editing is this Thursday. We have a tiny little bit of extra movement there until Friday. So if you really need an extra day, then just let me know. But as of the weekend, and of course, this is Sydney time, as of the weekend, our editor is hitting the ground running. Okay. So I've gone through in other videos, other trainings, the process from here on in, but does anyone have any questions about what happens next? I don't want to repeat myself if you guys are feeling pretty good. We'll have a month where the editing takes place. And in that month, we can really land and settle. Not a whole lot's going to take place. We'll probably do maybe 1 or 2. I have to have a look at the calendar, at the community guide. I can't remember what I've scheduled. We'll probably do some energetic sessions, like some beautiful, I don't know, I guess I'll check in with you all and see what you guys need. That's what I really want to be able to offer for that. My intention is that by the time we get to release, everyone's like super on board. Everyone's nervous system is feeling really aligned. Yeah. Because it's as we are a cohort, everyone's individual nervous system has an impact on the whole. That's what I've come to understand. And so the more like on board and aligned and ready to go we all are as a cohort, then the better experience the launch is going to be. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. So often as well, I've done in other projects, especially in the last one, the Unapologetic project, what I noticed was it was almost like that witch wounding started to arise. We were a cohort all of women. And there, I started seeing in some of the conversations with the women, it was like this fear of, it's like I've written this chapter and this chapter is really powerful and I've written it in a way that is really bold. Shit. Now what? What's going to happen? What potentially could go wrong? What will family think? What will my social media people think? What will my clients think? And sometimes it's very unconscious, and very deep in our nervous system of like, am I going to be annihilated for what I've said? I've actually seen that happen. I feel it's that witch wounding, because in the past, in our DNA, for ancestors, for past lives, we probably were annihilated for speaking up and speaking powerfully, right? So just to be really mindful of the subtleties of the nuances in your energetics as you approach this really big date, which is our launch date. So, I always say, like, launching a book is very much like birthing a baby. We've been gestating these concepts and gestating the chapters, and it's kind of like getting that chapter in is the first stages of birth beginning to happen, but the real crowning and birthing of this baby into the world is our launch, right? As we lead up to the launch, and then the way that we sustain the launch. So the launch will typically be from Friday to Sunday, but usually Fridays, Saturdays, where it all happens. But that's a bit of an endurance battle. It can feel a little bit like, we're calling on our reserves. We're coming face to face with our shadow. All of our stuff can start to arise. Our inner shit can start to arise, just like we do when we're in labor or when we're, descending into that next hero's journey. So I wanted to flag that. Does anyone have any questions or comments on anything that I've just said in relation to resistance or, that visibility aspect? Does that all feel pretty good? I know two of you here have been through this process with me before, so you're very aware, Annabelle and Steph, very aware of what that experience is like. Do either of you feel called to say anything or share a little bit about your experience with the first book that you were in? You don't have to if you don't want to.
No, I'm really happy to share because I had another launch in January then.
Yes, you did.
And I was so different. It was so different.
Yeah.
Okay. My whole being was I was so embodied. I was just there. Like I was camping. I didn't have a home. I ended up doing the launch in a library in Bellingen, and I just did me.
Yeah.
And there was no stress. There was no expectation. And it was almost like, when I did the first launch with you, it was like counting was there, so much stress and wanting to do everything perfect. And it was too much. And then I ended up pretty exhausted as well.
Yes.
And I didn't even have anything organized for celebrating.
Sure.
Actually. And, and after this big day, organize something before you're there.
We'll talk strategy for sure, because it is important.
Even like for yourself. And what happened is actually I want to ask about that. Before that I was contacted to put an article about me in this online magazine Disrupt.
Yep.
And because of the title of our book, I'm like, I need to be there, like I must be there. So I paid to be there. And I had a flood of people coming and looking at my profile after that. It was quite amazing. And because I'm probably going to do it again. I've connected with them, and they have an article coming at the end of July, which is 30 women to look out for 2022. And I'll probably try to get into that. And if you want the links, I can share links with you.
Beautiful. What did you invest for that, Annabelle?
So there's different different one. There's the one is $2.99. I have different things.
Sure.
Then if you want to be standalone, there's 300. It's all US, I think. 300 in Disruptor magazine. Being alone. And New York Weekly, Australian Times is $1,000.
Yeah, cool.
And I think it was about 300 to be in this top, whatever it was.
Sure.
And so it really released energy of being that in that category of woman.
Beautiful.
And it was very good boost for myself to to be able to do that. And I'm happy to do it again and to be much better organized on the other side to receive basically whoever's going to be looking to have better system to.
Yes, it's definitely like
always, and then if there is no system in place to register, I'm probably going to have a sign-up page. Actually, I'm going to make a sign-up page before the launch. My own page, or who wants to sign up to my list to know when the launch is, to join the launch or anything, because I want to increase my list really, and who's interested.
That's a really great idea. If you guys haven't considered
Yeah.
doing that, and we'll talk a little, once we get our chapters in, we'll bring in more of that high level strategy around how to actually like really utilize and leverage the visibility and the exposure, because there are lots of different strategies that we can use and employ. But definitely having even like a lead pages, setting up a basic lead capture form, where people who are interested in wanting to be kept up to date, they go onto your list. And yeah, really important. Even like from once the book is launched, having some sort of whether it's a very basic funnel or a freebie or something that you can capture people's email addresses and capture people's information. That's definitely something we're going to start to talk about. Not yet though. I want to really focus on the chapters. But definitely visibility, getting some PR, like that kind of thing is very, very powerful. And what we're doing is building momentum, right? Building up some momentum. So if you haven't already shared with your community, first of all, that you're in this book, second of all, what the experience has been like for you so far to write your chapter, I would highly, highly recommend doing that. Like there's something really powerful when people see that you're contributing to a book, that you're becoming an author. Like people love it. They love it. If you haven't experienced that yet, it's probably because you haven't officially announced it. So announce it officially. You can share what it's like to write. Like you can even give a little snippet of your chapter if you want, and talk about the experience. What was it like for you to write that chapter and to actually submit that chapter? This is all about getting your community on board, bringing them along for the ride. Right? So it's how we build visibility. It's how we build momentum in our business, in our social media platforms, on our social media platforms in preparation. Questions about that? Feel pretty good? And yeah, it is like Annabelle, I know a launch can either be like just like a labor, it can either be like a beautifully calm, powerful, empowering experience, or it can be like crazy, I'm going to the depths of my shadow, like just like labor, it can. And it's all about the energy that you go into it with. So we can really cultivate our personal empowerment and our personal power and our nervous system so that we go into this launch like really aligned, really empowered. And I really love this expression, HILA, high intention, low attachment. And that's like, it's hard to practice that sometimes in real life. So like we have the intention high, we have a high intention, and then we release any attachment to the outcome. It's just a really powerful, energetic process. So we're not like grasping. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty much an opportunity for you guys to ask questions, to check in energetically. Did we want to kind of go around? And maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll start with you, Steph. You're the first, top of my screen.
Hello.
Ooh.
Hi, gorgeous ladies. And the men when they watch the replay. I feel amazing. My chapter's not done, and I'm okay with that. I'm sometimes a sliding up the last minute to the home plate type of girl. I am way more prepared this time though than last time. So I feel really good. I think the last chapter I wrote was very much confronting from a personal level, and was going to be confronting for people to read on that personal level. But this chapter for me, I think is going to really stir some stuff for people when they read it, from an energetic and business perspective, what I'm writing about. So I think, when you're speaking about the resistance, it's like, yeah, I could see that it'll still be there, but I think I feel so much more, the last 12 months for me, it's like I feel so much more confident and embodied as who I am, that, yeah, for me, the opinions of others and things like that don't seem to be as present as concerns. So I feel yeah, I feel really amazing. And I just think even if it stirs up a hornet's nest for people, for me, it's like, well, then that's still, it's just still bringing things to life for people. It's still creating conversation and an opportunity for people to grow, or,
and you're never responsible for someone else's reaction either.
No. I feel really relaxed about it. The last launch for me, I don't know, I'm pretty calm in life these days. I've, been that was frantic and controlling everything for years, and definitely have consciously and intentionally stepped well away from that in the last 12 months or couple of years really, since working with you. And Hyla is one of the most beautiful concepts I've ever come across in my life. Yeah, I remember like 2.5 years ago when you said that to us, and I was like, oh fuck, like it just makes so much sense. Whether it's in business or just in life, even with raising kids, I use it. Especially with teenagers. It's like, I can have all the best intentions in the world for my teenager, but it's up to him ultimately, because he's becoming a young adult. So yeah, I feel pretty amazing, actually. And I just know the last 2,000 words will drop in. I've got tomorrow set aside.
Yeah, beautiful.
Finalize the chapter, and then some space before Thursday to do any edits. But yeah, it feels brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like you know what you're going to talk, you're halfway there. You've got it all mapped out. It's a really powerful topic. I am excited to read it. Hey,
it's just like weaving the thread for me. I'm like, which life experience do I speak it about to bring it in? I've already spoken about some, a couple of things, but it's like, it's just maintaining that thread of but it's great. It'll just drop in.
Yeah, beautiful.
Trust in the process.
Always.
And the only other thing I was going to say when you said about did we want to speak about our previous experiences, is that in that last book there was a lot of resistance, because I think because of the topic of the book, there was a lot of women speaking about things that were really confronting.
Very personal
lives. It was a very personal book. And I think the one thing, and even here, like this, again, it can be really personal. Like people that talk about, seeing aliens and talking to spirits and shit, like majority of our lives we've probably been told we're fucking crazy. So it can be confronting, but I think the one thing that was really, really important from the last launch was that when women felt their resistance, they actually jumped in the group and shared. And actually like leant into the space instead of the pulling back.
So thank you for bringing that up.
People pull back a lot, and I used to be someone that would pull back, but then to be able to just sort of go, you know what, I'm struggling today, like feel like shit or whatever needs to be said. I think that was massive for so many of us in that space. So that's the one thing I would say over the launch is like, and even then for the summit, I know people were freaking out with getting into the summit and what to do. So really actually sharing was really, really important, I felt.
Such a release when we vocalize something. When we keep it all in, it's like it just gets shoved into our bodies. So thank you for bringing that up. And that's what this group is for. We're all, like I said, a cohort, like one living, breathing organism. Which this book is. And one of the biggest things that I realize about these projects is that, and this really, we all kind of collectively came to this realization with the last book, Unapologetic, as we were preparing for the launch, that it's so much more than launching a book. It's about launching a movement. It's about initiating a conversation. It's about really like keeping that conversation alive, and just be mindful of that as we go through, the fact that this is about, real like leadership in the new era, leadership in the Great Awakening, and like cracking through all of the distortions and all of the things that are coming to light at the moment so that we can truly be a warrior of light and anchor the light, right? So as you go through this process, as always tends to happen, you'll be the microcosm and the macrocosm. You'll see it on the global stage and in your own personal lives. And to keep that conversation happening with us and with anyone that you see fit. Beautiful. Thanks, Steph. Okay, Kirsty, we'll pop over to you because you're second on my screen.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
I feel like I have obviously my topic and everything I'm going to speak about, but I feel like I've just got to rejig everything
Okay. Yeah.
now. Like you said, to make it land more powerfully. It's like I can speak it to somebody.
Yeah.
And then when I write about it, I can just, because there's so much depth to it.
Yep.
I don't want to go on a tangent. It's like if I go deeper in an area, it's like it's too much. So I felt maybe what I did with that whole area of talking about the preconception was kind of just kept it surface level to give like an idea of this is so important, but it hasn't grabbed you know, like the power of it.
It's tricky because it's technical. And you don't need to go into the technicalities, but it's more the philosophies.
And I think, and maybe what I was thinking of with some clients, like what got me, like how to, because the other hard part was how to combine it, how like my story or thread of what led me into my mission. But what I was thinking is just talking about like some client stories, you know, so something that's a bit more like a couple of stories that are more personal, not like there's my bit, of course, my story.
I was going to say, I think that's an important aspect, and I wouldn't include that. Okay, good.
No, I'm just meaning with the like the why, the importance of the preconception, like as what I'm seeing these days with kids, for instance, instead of making it so general, like I might touch on a couple of stories as in why kids, you know, the kids I'm seeing and treating, why they're not responding to simple natural therapies that should work, you know, their immune systems have been so damaged from the intervention of pharmaceutical intervention and vaccinations and so on. So I'm kind of tossing up with the always been along of whether to mention vaccinations because it's so because of my health profession, you know, because of like, I mean, we're not under any governed body. We can't get, like, we're not a registered profession as naturopaths. So that's a really good thing, as in we don't have any... You're
not going to have APRA breathing down your neck.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that, but you can become a target and still become, you know, like there can be consequences or repercussions. But I'm thinking what I can kind of just lead it into that all goes into the soup of the problems we have, like not that that's cause. It's like it's all the, you know, it's the Caesar birth, it's the antibiotics at birth, it's the everything, you know, treating every child's illness with a drug, you know, that's all leading them to not respond. So it's all like part of it, but
and like the distancing from natural remedies and naturopathic remedies, right?
And letting, you know, that the laws of nature of our body, how our body can heal.
I think that's the angle. If you don't want to like speak specifically to vaccination, I think that would be a really powerful angle to take. Where you can really you can highlight it from that perspective that like we've distanced ourselves so far from our natural healing capabilities. You know, and you can look, I mean, I'm okay if you want to mention it. I think it's the elephant in the room at the moment, you know, even before COVID.
But it's not, hopefully it's, you know, it's not coming across as though it's a cause of it's like it's just part of
it's one piece of the pie.
Exactly. So I've just got lots to rejig. I feel like I have to just rewrite the whole thing.
Okay, well, look, it wouldn't necessarily need to rewrite the whole thing. I would be looking at like really tuning into, and it, like what we spoke about in Messenger as well, was like, it's about your voice as well. Like I want to hear your voice in that. And I think when you really tap into that and call that forth, it's going to land purely from the perspective that it's like, we can hear your passion in it. Right. It's like, when I read the first edition, it was like, yeah, it was a bit clinical and it was a bit surface, and that's why I said I want you to go deeper.
Yeah.
Deeper. And I think this is like your philosophies, your why, your like, why are you so passionate? Why from a personal perspective on a global level,
Yeah.
you know, and that, because it's so like like you say, you know, what was it, like 4,000? What was the date that like the first 4,000 days or?
Oh, the first 1,000 days. Yeah.
Yes.
So the first, which I haven't even touched on yet. And that's where I was like, oh shit, there's just too much to add. Like,
yeah, there is a
like,
lot. So this is also, we can see your book,
Yeah.
your solo book
that's
starting to
That's
take
where I'm
shape.
thinking too, is that, and the other thought I had was then maybe I just shouldn't really go into the pregnancy, postpartum and first 1,000 days in this, and just really focus on the preconception and the health of kids, of what we're seeing, rather than try and explain each kind of area.
I think
that can come with the programs that this will
my body is saying yes to that. To that angle, because you really want to hyper dive into preconception, right? This is where you're really carving your area out in the marketplace. Rather than like a few hundred words on
each thing,
it's like where it just keeps it
grab.
I think that's what I would do if I were you.
It. And then I can still keep creating content for the others, because that can be part of like the programs I can work through with people.
Totally.
Too. Yeah.
And you can really start to see your of course, like your programs, but also your book, like your solo book. I can see it right here, you know, like you can write it probably in a month. Because it's all there. So, you know, don't discard that other aspect. Like, put it in a document where you know you're going to come back to it and flesh it out a lot more. But if I were you, I would hyper dive into preconception and the importance of it, and the impact of people not taking this into consideration, the impact that it's having on their kids. And on the next generation of little warriors.
I feel like I need to write like an example of what happens when you do and what happens when you don't. Like just a made up thing. You know what I mean? Like just making up. This is, you know, you can hypothetically go down this path if you don't do anything, and these are the consequences, and then you can go down this path, and But can I just ask a question?
Yes.
About the first part, just because, you know, where you were talking to us about it's good to catch the reader's attention, as in dropping them into the action at the beginning. And that's why I sort of did that experience of me in the hospital with the ectopic pregnancy. Is that a good place to start? Do you feel like that to keep
I do feel, because it's a powerful moment in time. The thing is, like, how does that ectopic pregnancy connect with?
It's like that's what I'm struggling with. It's kind of like
that's the link, how you weave it. So I mean, if you really like sit in that moment and think about like, well, what happened differently after that? And you do touch on this in your chapter. Oh, Jules is here. Yay. Haven't seen Jules in any of these calls in ages. So you do weave that through. I think the clearer you are on the answer to that question, and like, how did that ectopic pregnancy
lead to the
experience guide you to doing this work now? There will be a very powerful connection. I know there will be.
Okay, cool. That's what I've got to hone in on. Thank you.
Okay, does that feel clear?
Yes. And I feel like resistance wise will come with the
final push.
Visibility. It not even so much for the like although I'll definitely have like regrets, as in, I should have done this, but as in all that later stuff, the launch stuff, the summit, that's all the
visibility.
Visibility is a big one.
I'm going to mute you, Jules. There we go. Beautiful. Awesome. And we all experience some level of this. So lean on the group. Because to the nervous system, it's kind of terrifying, you know, to the inner child. It's like, oh, what if I fuck it up? What if I get it wrong? What if I get judged? What if I get rejected?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll peel into this as well.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Karina, let's pop over to you.
I feel fabulous because I've written my chapter.
Yay!
And it felt so good just
Yes.
to finish it. It was really cathartic, actually, experience. I
Yes.
cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. It was so good.
Yes. Great.
So,
There is a real catharsis potential in these chapters.
Mm.
And like I've spoken about before, it's like when you feel it, the reader feels it. You know, it's like that. It's like you infuse into your words the emotion and the power and the potency of it.
Yeah.
And it translates.
Yeah. I gave it to
Beautiful.
my partner to read and she cried as well. So
Oh, so beautiful.
so it's just up to doing.
I'm so excited for you all to read each other's chapters because I've read, I think about half of you popped them in for my review, which I was really thankful for because it took a fuckload longer than I was anticipating. And I was thinking this morning, I was like, oh my God, imagine if I had like a whole 20 of them instead of 10. I'd be like square-eyed. I think it's just in a short time frame, you know. I will obviously read them, but providing feedback, and I did micro edits on everyone's chapters as well. So
Well, I appreciate your feedback. I really do.
my pleasure.
Most appreciated. And I'm just writing my bio and trying
Yeah.
to 150 words, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much where I'm at. So I'm pretty excited.
Did everyone see the video training on bios that I put into the group? Okay, it's in there. If you go to guides, I think it's guide 3. It's a video, pre-recorded video training that I did for the last book, but it's super relevant. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So yeah, it goes for about 30 minutes. Bios are important, guys. They're really important. You know, you really want to say everything you want to say in 150 words is tricky. Because that's what people are like, that's, you know, that will guide people to the next steps, right? So when you hand in your chapters, you also have to hand in a bio as well as a headshot, a photo. So I'll talk a bit more about that. We don't need to delve into that at the moment. I might do an individual live maybe tomorrow on head. Well, it's not even, it's really, there's nothing to it. Just a really nice photo. Have I got a copy of, I do. For those of you who haven't seen, this is what they look like. Stephanie Lavelle. Let's find Steph's. Can you see? It's probably back to front. That looks like it's over 150 words. But anyway, so you'll have a little, like a photo. It's a small one. It's a small black and white one. So high res is good because if it's not, look, to be honest, they generally often, even if they are high res, just because they're small, can be a little bit grainy. But in the Kindle version, they won't be because it's digital. And the most important thing. So I'll read Stephanie Lavelle, and it'll be interesting to see if this is shifted, Steph. Yeah. Steph is the CEO and founder of Dark Empress Enterprises. Interesting. Would you say that anymore?
I don't know. I'm sitting with rewriting my whole bio right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
I just feel like I've got to get the chapter done first.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I'm not going to read it because I don't want to convolute it, but that's how it looks. You'll have options for your links. Not too many. Okay. And in fact, even what I said a few trainings ago, having a link tree is a good idea. If you've got lots of links, yeah, you can have just one link where people can go and they can spear off in all the different directions. Yeah. Okay. Did you have any questions at all, Karina, or any comments or feedback, anything that you needed? Does that all feel pretty good?
With the bio,
Yep.
The links, is that included in the 150 words?
Oh, I should know the answer to this question. Let me get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is,
Okay.
but let me get back to you on that.
Yep, that was all.
I do have the answer to that written in that document, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'll have a squiz. I'm pretty sure they are included in the 150 words. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, great. Well done.
Thank you.
Annabelle, hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm feeling really good. I'm happy with what I've done, and now it's like the weaving and improving. And I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, thank you very much for the feedback.
My pleasure.
So yeah, I had a bit of room to to fluff it up a bit and to add bits. So just to make the stories maybe a bit more alive.
Sure.
And then so I feel pretty good.
Great.
Just
This is your third experience now, so you're a bit of an
third
old hand at this.
And I'm loving it because
Yeah.
I never thought of myself, being here doing that really, but I've been enjoying the process very much. And and for what we teach in the summit, so it's going to be live in Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe there are subjects that, can we talk about anything? But Facebook.
You can choose the topic that works for you. Yeah, for sure. We'll do a few strategy sessions around this, because it doesn't need to be directly connected to your chapter. It can be if you want, but you don't feel like just because you wrote about one thing you need to teach on it.
Yeah, because I think between the time of for me it changed a bit.
Yeah.
And I think I was okay with that.
Yeah. I would much prefer that you do something that is really alive for you in the moment.
Yeah. So at the moment it's like how to weave the teachings, and the story together.
Yes.
To make it like, people who want to read more really.
Sure.
And want to know more. And I don't want to give too much as well.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yes, it's the art of giving an entree, not a main meal.
And I've been for so long giving the how, and people don't want the how. You want to tell them what you're going to solve.
Yes.
And they don't care about the how anyway. They just want to
the how, if you just tell them the how, they don't really take it on anyway.
No.
That's the mentorship, the power of mentorship in your containers, It's like doing people a disservice actually to give them the how, to give them too much of the how, because it just goes in one ear and out the other. It just contributes to more of that information overload. So it is, I think that's where story, like teaching through story, is very powerful because of all the reasons we've spoken about. And then like weaving through maybe the higher level transmission pieces or the higher level teachings a bit more directly is really how those two energies come together. But everyone does it differently as well.
Yeah. So and I love to connect, and I think it's a wonderful container. And I just want to ask you, Karina, have you done some work with Denny Reno? No.
Me?
Yeah. Do you know Denny? Where do you live?
Laurelton.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, you look like this lady. I'm like,
people say I look like someone, and it's really.
And it's like it was.
You just have a familiar face.
But I had to ask because now it's okay. I can let it go. So so I'm just gonna finish this week, and I take a lot of time to do the finishing.
The finessing.
Yes, because English is not my first language as well.
And of course, like I did edits on people's chapters, but we have official editing. So there's going to be another round of official editing, and it will be different because I'm not an actual editor, but I think I have a very good grasp on writing and the English language. So please bear that in mind, that you will have, obviously, we all know, that final round. Beautiful. Okay, great.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Jules, great to see you. Oh, you're muted, darling. Yes.
Sorry I came in late.
That's all right. Nice to see you.
Nice to see everybody.
How are you going?
Faces. Yeah, I'm going well. I haven't started my chapter yet, but that's okay. Nothing like a deadline.
Yeah, we can tip into the quantum now. We sit down and half an hour and it's done.
It'll be done by lunchtime.
Yeah.
42.
Do you have a feel for what you want to write about? Is the concept there?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So mostly I want to write about my work.
Yeah.
But I need to write about it because a lot of my work is so kind of like out there.
Yeah.
I need to write about it in a way that makes it relatable.
This is really good for you, Jules, for your messaging as well.
Yeah, but then it doesn't dilute my work and my message.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the balance, the tricky balance that I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
And also it's quite different from my last book where it was very much spoke into trauma and what led me to do the work I'm doing now, but I didn't really speak much about my work. So then I want to mostly be speaking about my work, but then it needs to also be a personal story.
Yeah, well, look, it doesn't necessarily, I mean, you could talk about your shift into crystalline.
Yeah.
And because it's by your work, do you mean you want to focus primarily on crystalline, on the crystalline upgrade?
Well, there's a number of different things. So the crystalline upgrades where I implant the crystalline spines, because that's just, really interesting stuff to talk about. But then also the codal system that I'm writing the program for at the moment, but also how I've been downloading people's master codes as well. Which activate the codal system and the crystalline spines. And then I've just written some stuff down, so I'm looking down. But then also some of my channeling, how I channel Jesus and different.
Well, I think it all begins and ends with the channeling, because you channeled all of this, right?
Well, it is all channels, but I mean, I'm speaking about like the verbal channeling that I do as well. But I was thinking of starting the chapter off about the time I was actually doing a Reiki healing and aliens came into the room to assist me with the healing. So I think I might start it off there.
Was that the first time that happened for you?
That's the only time that's happened.
Okay, that's a really cool moment in time.
The
galactic stepped in, and then from there everything kind of shifted for your work didn't it?
It really did. So
you've got a couple of different threads here, because like the overarching thread feels like the galactic the galactic energetics, and how maybe it was your upgrade into crystalline that activated the channel so that could all happen.
Definitely and it was also tied in with my holy fire ignitions when I was like initiated into Christ consciousness frequency as well. So that's where a big shift happened too. So they all kind of tie together, but then they're separate paths. But then so I did ask for a word to so I've got a couple of words. So I asked for a word to outline the golden thread, and they gave me the word Fibonacci.
Oh yes, you said that.
And so it's interesting, like the Fibonacci spiral. So I was thinking of even like the golden thread might be like the Fibonacci spiral that spirals me around into the from the beginning point to the end point.
So it doesn't have to be linear.
Exactly. And not being linear.
You did this really well. I was reading one of the chapters. Michelle did this beautifully. Little vignettes, moments in time that she wove together into her chapter. Obviously it's hard for you because you haven't read it, but it just landed so powerfully. And you could do something, you could weave it similarly if you want to, it doesn't have to be one transmission. One story. It can be vignettes that come together, that blend together as well. And I do think this is important for you because your work, of course, it is very out there and unique, and no one else is doing work like this. And majority of people are going to not be your people, but you want to speak to those spiritual leaders. Right? You want to speak to other warriors of light, really. The people who resonate with the energy of this book will likely be your prime people for this energetic upgrade into crystalline frequency. Right. So like thinking about it from that higher level strategic piece as well, like how is this obviously crystalline and codal, like how does this help people to ascend in their spiritual mission? Whether you want to bring in like, examples of some case studies or testimony, not testimonials, but like little vignettes where you can talk about what your people have experienced as a result and what you've experienced as a result of this.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also had a word that's been floating around for maybe 10 years or more, and it's the word satori, which is a Japanese word for enlightenment. And I always knew that word was significant for me, and I almost called my daughter Satori Amaya, but
my friend's daughter's called Satori.
Oh wow. And so I was thinking of actually calling my chapter Satori. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, so I've kind of got lots of ideas, but I just need to pull it together.
Just sit down and pull it together. Yeah, great. Have you got space between now and the end of the week?
Yeah, well, I was planning on doing writing today, but I've ended up with a sick kid at home. So I won't get much writing done today, but I'll make space for it. It'll be
okay, beautiful. I'm excited to read it.
Thanks. So am I.
Yeah. Alrighty, Mariana, if you are able and you have questions, feel free to unmute. Maybe I can't see her. So are you there, Mariana? Did you have any questions or any feedback, anything you want from me, darling? Just let me know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up. Alrighty. I think we might wrap up. Did anyone else have any other questions or comments or buts?
Sorry, just a really quick question. Thanks for reminding me, Jules. I've totally even forgotten about that. I need to come up with a name for my chapter.
Oh, a title. Yes, please. Yes.
And is like, obviously I'll spend some time obviously thinking about that, but would it be okay if I sent you a message, like if I came up with something and just ran it by you?
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
That's what I'm here for. Sweet. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to think. I think that's everything from me. Obviously, bios, obviously chapters. Lol. And then we'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning into the field as to what we do next. I feel like some energetic some energetic work is going to be really powerful. But for now, when you hand in your chapters, just please allow yourself to land and take a breath. We don't need to really do much after that for that beautiful period in between. Okay. It's a it's a big deal, right? This is why people say they want to write a book and then never do, because of all of what is involved. So I'm super proud of you all. Well done. Anything you need to vocalize or voice, please pop into the Facebook group and do that.
I just wanted to say, it's a new moon and it's all about words and expressing ourselves and going into our truth and really connecting to our gift. So new moon, new intention in the book.
Love it. Love how it all aligns.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, truly is.
Because
alrighty, everybody, so much love. Enjoy your week. Happy finishing off your writing and finessing of your chapters. And I look forward to receiving them all soon. Alrighty, bye.
Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, ladies.